What's going on YouTube? Wapo here, back with a brand new video from Marvel Strike Force. And in this video, you guys, we're going to be talking about Apocalypse Saga Unlock Guide. Now, this is going to be a two-part video, so if you guys are more interested as far as the characters slash teams that are going to be best to unlock Apocalypse, if you've already gotten all the Horseman characters, so you're going to unlock the Epic Campaigns tab at level 65, which is going to allow you to do Dark Dimension, but in order for you to actually unlock Apocalypse, you have to be level 70. Okay, so in order to get Apocalypse, you're going to need all four of these Horsemen. So you're going to need Morgan Le Fay, Rogue, Archangel, and Red Hulk. Now, each one is going to have their respective Scourge in order for you to get the unlock. As you can see, I've already done the 2 unlocks for Morgan Le Fay and Rogue. And then what I've actually done is I've actually used this. If you go over here to the search bar on the left-hand side, go to the miscellaneous tab, and then go down to battle favorites. This is going to allow you to select certain characters. If you have too many characters that already are hearted, you can actually use this favorites tab as a second sort of like key tab or a bookmark, I guess you could say, for all these characters. So all these characters that you see here, there's a total of 20 characters in total. These are all of the characters that I'm going to need to build up in order for me to unlock all 4 of the Horsemen. So as you can see, I've already got like Kahori and some Secret Defenders, some Hive Mind members. These are the ones that I needed to build up in order for me to unlock Rogue and Morgan Le Fay. And these other 2 teams down here, Pegasus and this, what is it, Bifrost? Oh gosh, blanked out there. Bifrost is what I need in order for me to unlock Red Hulk as well as Archangel. So at level 65 is when you're going to unlock this Epic Campaign tab. So if we click on it, this is what it's going to allow us to do, not only Dark Dimensions, but it's going to give us all of the other Scourges as well as these Legendary Trials. Now, these Legendary Trials and the Scourges are actually on a 1-week rotation. So as you can see here, these are on a 6-day, they literally just started today, so they're going to be on a 7-day cooldown. Or we're going to be able to do it for 7 days, and then they're going to be on a cooldown for 7 days, because after these are done, then it's going to go ahead and rotate out to these trials here for these legendary characters. Out of these 3 legendary characters, I'd say Black Cat and Green Goblin Classic are absolutely worth it. Nova, you can kind of skip out on, if I'm being honest. He's a little bit power crept. He's used on a team that's primarily focused around war. And Nova, I mean, he's a good character, but he's just kind of fallen off a little bit. But definitely want to get yourself a Green Goblin Classic and Black Cat when those trials do come around. And I'll be putting out some videos as far as like how to unlock these other 2 legendary characters as well. Okay, so every Horseman is going to be a 100 shard unlock. So that just means that we have to do these first 3 milestones. So the first 3 milestones are going to give us 35 shards, 35 shards, 35 shards. That's a total of 105 shards that we're going to get from doing these first 3 milestones. Everything else after that, you're going to be able to get some red stars for them, as well as more shards. But that requires you to have a much higher score run. So for the sake of this video, and just because this video is an unlock guide, we're only going to be focusing on the first 3 milestones, which is going to be 500,000 points. So that is our target. So we're going to go over here to the first one here, which is going to be the Morgan Le Fay one. Now, obviously, we already have her unlocked, but if you guys are barely watching this and you don't have her unlocked, I'm going to show you guys what Scourges, what packs I turned on, and what difficulty that I was doing in order for me to unlock each one of these. I'm more than likely going to use the same rule across all 4 of the Scourges. So we have our expected run up here in the top right corner. It's going to be 100,000. The difficulty right now is at level 1. Suggested gear is 7. We're going to go ahead and set this slider a little bit more so we see the 500,000. Now, we're at the 500,000 now, so level difficulty 5 would only be 416K. Difficulty 6 would give us that 500,000 point score that we're looking for, the expected run score that we're looking for. However, this is going to not require, but its suggested gear level is going to be 15 plus. So right now, we only have our characters at gear tier 12 and gear tier 13. So we wouldn't want to do this because we're not going to be able to do much in the actual run itself, because these enemies are going to be tuned to gear tier 15 and above. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this difficulty slider back 1. So now the suggested gear is only gear tier 13 plus, which we do have, but it's going to only allow us to score 416,000 points, but we're looking for 500,000. So we're going to scroll down. We're going to set some of these packs. Now you can go ahead and read these yourself, but I'm going to show you guys what I did in order to make this run easier for myself. So I'm going to turn on these first 2. On turn, apply 2 heal blocks to player characters. That's not too bad. On enemy turn, they gain offense up. It might sound pretty strong, but it's really not that bad. And then we're going to put on 2 more, which is going to be We're going to do this one. When a player character drops below 50% health, apply trauma to them. So the goal there is just not to get dropped below 50%. And if we do, you know, maybe have like some defense ups or things to keep us safe. And then the last one that we're going to do is going to be, let's go ahead and do this one. So we turned on just literally 4 packs, the bottom 2, and then we turned on Dark Rally as well as The End is Near, and that got us over 500k. So now we can hit enter. And so I'm not going to show you guys the actual gameplay of the nodes. I'm just going to kind of show you guys what some of the packs are for each of them. And I'm going to show you guys the teams as well. So if we hit start, it's going to show us the requirements for each of the nodes. So for these first 2 nodes, we're only going to need some hero characters. The next is going to be a global section. Then it's going to be our first actual, you know, team that we need to bring in, which is either Web Warriors, Dark Hunters, Hive Mind, or Underworld. So what I did is I just chose one of these 4 tags, and that's what we're going to be basically basing our Scourge run off of. So we're going to go back to our roster. These are the characters that I have favorited. This is my battle favorites roster. Again, if you want to learn how to turn that on, all you got to do is go to, so this is like my main roster, right? So you just go to the left-hand side, and then you're going to find, it's going to be under miscellaneous. So you open up miscellaneous, you go to your favorites tab, and then there you go. So this is where all of my Scourge teams are basically going to be. So for that one, we needed either Hive Mind, Underworld, and some other teams, but Hive Mind is really going to be the best of those other 4 traits. So as you can see, my Void Knight is level 70, Gwenum's level 70, Red Goblin level 70, Carnage level 70, and I think as a 5th, I brought in, I believe I brought in, I actually didn't build up Venom. I think I brought in, it was a spider character. I don't remember who it was. Oh, it was Ghost Spider. Yeah, it was Ghost Spider. So that's basically what we did in order for us to get that unlock there. So then we're going to have some villain sections. We have a cosmic section, and then we have one more Hive Mind, Dark Hunter, Underworld, Web Warrior section. Let me just go back and show you guys just how strong my team was when I was doing the unlock. So we're going to go over to Hive Mind here in the search bar. This is how big I had them. We had Void Knight being the biggest, because you want really Void Knight to be the biggest on this team. Red Goblin, I think, is the second most important character. Unfortunately, he's not as big as Void Knight because I just don't have any red stars for him. But everybody else was pretty average, man. I mean, all of my characters are 4-star with the exception of Red Goblin. I do have some red stars on Gwenum. But as you can see, the team is not it's not very big. It's not very big at all. Now, I will say this, there are some T4s on some of these characters that are going to be kind of must-haves in order for the team to work properly. So the 2 that I would suggest as far as T4s are going to be the ultimate, because I mean the passive, because the passive is going to help fill our speed bar by 10%. And then the other passive that we want is going to be the Void Knight passive. The Void Knight passive is going to give us ability energy on spawn to all our Hive Mind characters, and it's just a really good one to have. Now, you could make the argument that Void Knight could use a couple more T4s, for example, like this one. This is going to apply ability block for 2 turns to the primary target, so that's pretty good. Anything that can extend the amount of turns that this debuff is going to, you know, be on the enemy team for, that's always pretty good, especially if it's a good one like ability block, stun, things like that. But for the sake of saving resources, we just did the 2 passives, the Carnage passive, the Void Knight passive, and that was it. And this is all I needed. This is all I needed to build. I mean, this is all I needed to unlock Morgan Le Fay. Now let's go to the other team. In order for us to unlock Rogue, I believe we needed to have, let's go over here to my favorites tab. I believe we needed Secret Defenders. So as you can see, my Secret Defenders, I have Robbie up here as the biggest. No T4s on Robbie. Doctor Strange, no T4s on Strange. Hardlight, no T4s there. Photon, same with her. And I believe we were able to use Kahori, if I'm not mistaken. I think we had a choice of some A-Force characters, but let's go take a look. All right, so now we're here in the Rogue Scourge. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to follow the same concept. We're going to go up to difficulty 5. We're going to scroll down and try to find some packs that are going to give us a good amount of points. Let me show you guys the packs one more time. We got Bleeder 1, Off Balance, Power Siphon, End is Near, and Stay Down. We're going to go ahead and start this run here. So first nodes are going to be City. Then we're going to have Mutant, 2 Mutants. And then our first one is going to be the 5th node, which is going to be A-Force, Young Avenger, Infestation, Secret Defender, or New Warriors. So got a lot more options. Back back in my day, we had much less options than this, and we were kind of forced to build a certain team. But now with them revamping the Scourges and stuff, you're actually able to mix and match a lot of these different characters together. So A-Force and Secret Defenders are going to be my suggestions for this. So that's why we did the 4-piece of Secret Defenders with Kahori. And then the rest of these nodes should be no problem for you. You're going to have some villain nodes, Cosmic Mystic, and then another A-Force and Secret Defender node that you have to do. So again, the target here is just 500,000. Use those 5 packs, get yourself a rogue unlocked. And we're going to jump over to the next one, which is Archangel. Very similar thing. We're going to set it to difficulty 5. We're going to scroll down and try to find some packs that aren't super impactful but give us a lot of points. So let's go ahead and hit enter. Let me show you all the packs that I'm running with this one. So we got Bleeder 2, Look at Me, Rise Anew, Super Soldier Serum, and Vile Resurgence 2. We're going to go ahead and hit start. We got Minion or Villains on the first two nodes, Hero on this the third and fourth node, and then we have Wakandan, Bionic, Avenger, or Pegasus. So I would suggest building up your Pegasus team. They're going to have a lot of synergy, and as long as you have them at a good level, which is going to be like either level 65 or level 70. As you guys can see, I'm not entirely ready for the Archangel, but this is the team that I would recommend. So Kestrel, Darkhawk, Rescue, Ironheart, and then Iron Man Infinity War. Now, again, I am an endgame player, so I know exactly how this team works and how it functions. The 2 most important characters on this team, are, in my opinion, are going to be Rescue and Kestrel. Rescue is going to be the character that's going to really keep your team alive and give you all that juicy defense up and all the things that you need in order for this team to work. But she's going to be your main healer, so you want to make sure that you have her as big as possible. Trying to look at some of these T4s and see if any of them were actually worth bringing up on her. This ultimate is actually pretty nice. Revive a dead Pegasus ally with 60% max health. So you could, if you have the extra T4s, maybe consider throwing that on her if you're having some trouble, keeping the team alive. And then this is a pretty good T4 if you're using them in raids, but because we already have a tech solution with Orcus for the raids, I would suggest kind of skipping out on this one. So just doing the level 4 passive on her, because it's going to give you 2 turns of immunity and 2 turns of defense up to your entire team. So that's massive. But if anything, I would say the ultimate from Rescue is worth it as far as the T4s go, because you're going to revive a dead Pegasus ally with 60% max health. Now Kestrel, she's going to be your main damage dealer. So as far as some T4s for her, I'd probably skip out on the passive. Anything with the yellow text you kind of want to take a look at. So this is going to give us 100% pierce into the primary target and apply defense down for 2 turns. Skippable if you ask me. Kestrel, she's a great character, has an amazing kit, one of the first game-changing characters in the game. And but now she's just a little bit power crept, so she's not as good as she once was. But this special is actually very good because it's unavoidable and can't be blocked. Plus, it's also going to do all this yellow text. Anytime you see yellow text on a T4, it might be worth it might be worth putting them on. It might be worth equipping. So this is going to give us defense down for 2 turns to each of the target and immunity for 2 turns to self. So that's pretty good. So I would suggest doing the T4 on Kestrel Ultimate or Kestrel Special, as well as the T4 on the Rescue Ultimate. And then the last and final Scourge is going to be the Red Hulk one. So for the Red Hulk one, we're going to use the same format. We're going to do difficulty 5, and we're going to scroll down and try to find some packs that aren't too impactful. All right, so let me show you guys the packs that I'm doing for the Red Hulk Scourge. So we have Unstoppable Force, we have Bleeder 2, Butterfly Effect, Vile Resurgence 2, and then Stay Down. So for this last one, we're going to need 2 bio characters in the start, some Avenger characters, Wave 1 Avengers, Ravagers, as Guardians, Black Order, or Thanos. So for this one, the strongest traits that we have here are going to be definitely the Asgardians. The Asgardians are technically mostly going to be Bifrost. Now, Bifrost used to be the #1 option for the Mystic raid nodes in your raids, but the Night Stalkers have replaced them as far as the best Mystic team for raids. They're still a very powerful team in raids if you don't have Night Stalkers built up yet. But the main 2 players in here, in my opinion, are going to be Val. There's actually a few. There's going to be Val, Sylvie, and Loki Teen. Beta Ray is going to be your tank, but Sylvie, Loki, and Val are going to be sort of your 3-piece, your linchpin that you want to be building up. Loki, you could also build up. He's got a lot of fun things that he can do on his passive where he fills the speed bar to himself and Mystic Controller allies. So pairing him with characters like Eternals and stuff is kind of cool as a plug and play, like outside of the Scourges. But your main 3 characters you want to focus on are going to be Sylvie, Loki Teen, and Val. Now, as far as T4 recommendations, I'm actually going to suggest that none of these T4s are actually needed for the Bifrost team to work, because most of the Bifrost T4s are going to be tied to raids. So just go ahead and for now, just skip out on any of the T4s on any of the Bifrost characters, but make sure you have them all at a pretty decent level. So they should all either be level 65 or level 70 in order for you to actually do well in these Scourges. All the characters that are on this particular list here that you see here should all be minimum level 70, I think, in my opinion. They don't have to be gear tier 13, but I think they should be at least level 60, between 65 and 70. That's going to be my recommendation. And then don't forget to also put on your ISOs for each of the characters as well. All right, that's going to do it for me, you guys. The part 2 for this video is going to be the path to Apocalypse. So this is going to be me talking about the actual characters and teams that I'm suggesting for you to build up in 2025 in order to get Apocalypse. So now that we've unlocked the 4 Horsemen, we're going to be going over individually each of these, they call them sagas. Each of the sagas, I'm going to give you guys recommendations for teams in order for you to get your hands on the almighty Apocalypse. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you guys did get a lot from this video. If you did, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more Marvel Strike Force content. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.